Going over the big winners of the week. First, the Browns, who got above the crowded field and now have a one-game lead for the wild card spot thanks to kicking their way past the Colts. The Jaguars now have a game-and-a-half lead for the AFC South and already hold a divisional head-to-head tiebreaker over one of their competitors. The Chiefs are now alone on top of the hill. 3-game lead for the AFC West after demolishing the Chargers' hopes to get back into the race. The Steelers, just like the Browns, now find themselves above the crowd with a 1-game lead in the wildcard race. Heading in the other direction, at least for the week, the Bills fell into the mud pit of middling teams fighting for position, and they, at least so far, do not have much in the way of positive tiebreak news. The Colts are now behind the crowd, and with them already losing the head-to-head tiebreaker to the Jaguars, don't have much division hopes. The Raiders and Chargers find themselves behind the crowd as well, and both of them up to this point don't have much good news when it comes to things that might be relevant in a tiebreaker. Here is the overview of the AFC. Chiefs now up to 9 out of 10 playoff chances. 3 teams at 5-2 in good shape. Around 70-something% chance to make the playoffs. The Jaguars, having a comfortable division lead, are slightly ahead of the Dolphins and Ravens odds-wise. As mentioned, the Steelers and Browns got out of the quagmire and now holding wildcard spots were the season to end today. Steelers have a little bit better chances due to beating the Browns earlier and having slight tiebreaker advantages elsewhere. The Bills season essentially starts over. They have about the same odds they did at the beginning of the season. 3 teams at even Steven. The Bengals with the worst odds of that group thanks to bad tiebreak position. 7 teams in various stages of trouble, although the Patriots and Broncos won to really muddle up the picture. For what it's worth, all teams still control their own destiny. Win out and no matter what else happens. As of right now, there are still some wacky scenarios that exist where 7 wins get in. Those shouldn't be counted on. Most likely number of wins needed for a wild card is around 10 to 11. And on the flip side, there are some even wackier scenarios that exist where 12 wins gets left out, although that should be a pretty safe mark to shoot for. Looking at each division, starting with the East, Dolphins lost to the Eagles, Bills lost to the Patriots, and with the Jets right at 3-3, there is more intrigue here than there was a week ago. Dolphins still in the lead, but they do have a loss against the Bills that they will need to avenge to avoid the chance of losing the head-to-head tiebreaker. They play the Patriots this week with the chance to beat them again and at least claim that head-to-head tiebreaker. Bills play the Buccaneers, while the Jets get their close neighbors, the Giants. If the Patriots manage another upset, things could get very interesting. Computer guesses that between 10 and 11 wins will be needed to win the division, same as with the wild card. The current team rankings projections are for the Dolphins and Bills to both end up at 11 wins, with the Jets a couple behind and tying for a wild card spot. Thanks to Team Rankings, as always, for letting me use their data. In the AFC North, every team on a 2-game win streak and making this look like the class of the AFC. Ravens with an impressive win over the Lions to keep their lead. They do have wins over the Bengals and Browns so far, but a loss to the Steelers to keep in mind. Steelers and Browns right behind them. As I mentioned, the Steelers have wins over both the Ravens and Browns, with so far the best division and conference records among the group. All this winning in the division does hurt the Bengals, who started out dreadfully, with losses to the Browns and Ravens already inflicted as part of their 0-2 division and 0-3 conference records. Their comeback is going to be a little tougher. With everybody at 500 or better, computer now says wins needed for the division is between 11 and 12. Team Rankings has the Ravens at 12 for the division, Browns right behind for a wild card spot, and Steelers at 9 wins, tying for the last wild card spot. Ravens play the Cardinals this week, with the rest of the division having tougher slates. Steelers play the Jaguars, Browns at Seattle, and Bengals at 49ers. So not sure the odds favor everyone in the division winning again. Over at the AFC South, Jaguars increased their division lead with the Texans, who were off last week, now appearing as their closest competitor. Jaguars, besides the game-and-a-half lead, have better division and conference records, but if the Texans managed to close the gap, they did beat the Jaguars earlier. Colts and Titans both on a 2-game losing streak and in danger of fading out of the picture. Jaguars have what could be a tough game at Pittsburgh. Texans get the Panthers, so watch out for them to continue to surprise. Colts and Titans have matchups with the NFC South, Saints and Falcons respectively. Estimate wins needed to take division is 10-11, again same as wildcard. Team rankings has the Jaguars hitting the 11, Texans projected to tie for a wildcard spot. AFC West. Chiefs unplugged the Chargers and now have a commanding lead in the division with no blemishes in conference play. The closest team to them, the Raiders, managed to get humiliated by a no-name Bears quarterback. So really it is hard to see anything but a Chiefs division title here. Chiefs play the Broncos this week with the opportunity to both win the season head-to-head battle and erase any confidence the Broncos got from their win against the Packers. Raiders get an ego-bruised Lions team with the Chargers getting to try their luck at the Bears. Currently, number of wins needed for the division is estimated at just 10, with team rankings now showing just the Chiefs going to the playoffs in their projections. There are again just 3 intra-conference games for Week 8. Almost interesting when looking at which teams among the non-combatants in them should root for to better their chances. In the Patriots at Dolphins game, exactly half the league would benefit in some fashion from a Patriots win, with the other half in better shape of a Dolphins win. The Bills, perhaps counterintuitively, one of them. In the Jaguars at Steelers matchup, another peculiar circumstance is that the Browns are better served strictly playoff odds-wise with a Steelers win. The Texans also fare better with such, while everyone else would benefit with the Jaguars knocking the Steelers back closer to the middle of the road. Chiefs at Broncos. Raiders and Chargers benefit from a Broncos win to give them some hope for the division. And somehow, someway, things are better with such for the Titans and Texans, while everyone else's chances are better with the Broncos even close to the wildcard race. That's it for now. Again, my site is playoffcomputer.appspot.com. Please check it out if you play in or in particular commish a fantasy or other sports league or want to support this mission in stat geekery. Feel free to send comments, questions, or suggestions. Enjoy your day.